Hey guys, this is Dr. Beck at Pathway Audiology, and I'm going to walk y'all through the process of an ear mold impression today and what its intended purpose is for, and that is to make a mold of the inside of the ear. There's been a recent YouTube video that I've been getting lots of questions about where they took an ear mold impression to supposedly move earwax, and so I'm going to show you why that is not the intended purpose of a ear mold impression and show y'all the process of what we do. Okay, so step one for taking an ear mold impression is using an otoscope to actually look in the patient's ear and make sure that I can see the eardrum, make sure there's no structures in the ear that would prevent us from taking an ear mold impression, and just make sure that the ear is a healthy ear to take an ear mold impression on. So what I'm gonna do is turn on my light. I'm gonna go ahead and look inside of the ear. Her ear is clear of any wax buildup, and I see that eardrum. It looks really pretty, and all the structures I can identify. So step two to an ear mold impression is using what we call an oto block. So an oto block is a foam piece that we're going to push down into the ear canal. And what this does is it's going to keep the impression material from going to the eardrum. So think about it in terms of earwax. If we're pushing this down inside the ear, then it's not going to be taking wax out. So, you know, debunking that video, they pushed this down in the ear, which would have pushed the wax in further. So the way you push it in is with what is called an otolight. So it's a little flashlight that allows you to see into the ear. And so what I'm gonna do is put this foam block down into the ear canal, and I'm just gonna gently push it in there. Sometimes the patient may have the sensation that they're gonna cough, and that's because that nerve that makes us cough runs through our ear. But once we get it in place, we're gonna put this back over the ear, and so that is what it looks like once it's in place. So once we have the oto block in place, what I'm gonna do again is use my otoscope and look around the oto block and make sure that I don't see any spots where the oto block is not blocking. Because we want to make sure when we put that impression material that it's not going to go past the oto block. So what I'm going to do is turn on my light again and take a peek in there. And the oto block is placed correctly, and we're ready to put the impression material in. Okay, so I'm going to walk y'all through mixing the impression material. So there's two parts that go into making the impression material. It's a silicone material. There's a base and a catalyst. And so they're in two separate containers. When you start to mix them together, that's what is going to, that's what we're going to put inside the ear, and that is what's going to harden after about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take a scoop of each and put it on. This is called a spleeting pad. I like to be as, I guess, sanitary as I can be. So a lot of times people will mix this with their hands. I just don't like that. So I use a spleeting pad and a spleeter. And so what I'm gonna do is just mix this together until it is a solid blue color. We wanna mix that in fully. At this point, you have to start to move quickly because you don't want that material to harden. All of this material is room temperature, but when it goes into the ear is very sensitive to temperature. And so it sometimes will feel very cold in the ear. So I always will tell the patient, it's not cold, but it may feel cold when it's going into your ear. So that looks good. What I'm gonna do now is get my syringe here. I'm gonna pick up my material. I'm gonna put it down into the syringe. I'm going to put the end on the syringe, and I'm going to push out any air and feed it through because we don't want any air pockets into the material. So follow me over here. What we're going to do now is put the syringe into the ear, and I'm going to start filling up the ear here. We're going to fill up the entire concha bowl of the ear. Just like that. Okay, so while it's setting, it's been about 2 minutes. I'm just gonna press it, and you can see it's not ready to come out, but you're going to notice, so contrary to popular belief, what you see on YouTube, we're not poking holes to aerate it. We're not putting sugar in it to set it. None of that matters. It's the mixture of the two materials is what makes it harden. All right, so we're gonna just touch the Earmold and it is ready. So one thing that is, you know, I've found over my years of experience in taking an Earmold impression is that you want to release some of the pressure around the mold. That way it's more comfortable for the patient. So I'm gonna break the seal, and so I just kind of loosened it up. I'm gonna pull it out at the top, and then I'm gonna twist it forward. And then we're gonna pull it out. Okay, so this is what an Earmold impression looks like when it is pulled out. And so you can see it is not used to remove earwax from the ears. Instead, it is used to make a cast of the ear. Had her ear been full of wax, if we had taken an Earmold impression, we would have shoved it down deeper instead of removing it. And the last step of an Earmold impression is looking in the ear once it's been removed to make sure that there's no excess material, that there's no damage done to the canal. And so we're going to use the otoscope one more time and take a peek down into the ear. And everything looks good. Thanks so much for watching our video today. I hope that gave everyone a better understanding as to what Earmold impression, the process of an Earmold impression. Earmold impressions are used to make custom hearing aids and custom hearing protection and swim molds. They are not used to remove earwax from your ears. Call us today if you have any questions, if you're interested in having Earmold impressions for their intended purposes. You can call us at 432-606-1933, or you can visit our website at www.pathwayaudiology.com and book your appointment online. Have a great day.